And we're recording, I think. Yes, we are. We are recording indeed. So,
Nice.
everybody who's watching, there's a new series that we're starting. It's basically based on the WWE wrestling as well as AEW wrestling for all the wrestling fans out there. The purpose of it is we're gonna watch matches on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, whenever there's a pay-per-view, and we're just gonna go through it quickly and give our thoughts on it. I am Penta King, also known as Nakip, and this is Jake. Do you want to introduce yourself real quickly?
Yeah, I'm Clarky on Oberon Kingdoms. Just I've been a fan of wrestling since I was 10. So
Yeah, so I've been watching wrestling as well since 2010. So we're kind of started watching at the same time, and we have been following everything for the past 10 years. So yeah, that's basically the main reason why we're gonna start this.
Yeah.
So let's go back to last night, when Monday Night Raw was up. Which day was it again? I don't know the date.
the 13th.
The
13th
13th of April 2020.
Yeah.
This is the Raw, like 8 days after WrestleMania, and we have a new champion who is Drew McIntyre. So,
Really?
what are your thoughts on Drew McIntyre in general?
Well, he's the first British heavyweight champion, and we're only calling him British because he won. If he lost, he would have been Scottish. Like that's just how we are in the UK.
Politics and the society.
Well, it's the same with Andy Murray. If he wins Wimbledon, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, love him. He's British," but if he loses, he's Scottish.
Yeah, I like Scottish people more than British, so fuck you, Jake.
Oh, thanks.
I'm joking. So, let's go. So, the first segment of the night was Drew McIntyre walking out into the ring, and he was describing how his fight against Brock Lesnar was. They were looking back at the match, a few segments, all the F5s, all the suplexes, the Claymore kicks, and then him kicking out at 1, at 2, and then eventually pinning him for the win. And then he also managed to talk about fighting the Big Show a few minutes later and actually defending his title against Brock Lesnar and Big Show on the same night. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to hear this a lot more in the future from now on. And this was
Yeah.
actually his first proper Monday Night Raw ever since he won at WrestleMania. And for me, it was sad that there was no audience. I can imagine the huge pop that he would get as soon as he walked out.
Yeah. But
And-
he's handling it well, like talking straight to the camera and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
At least they stopped trying to hype up the audience, which isn't there, and they got rid of all the chairs for the audience, even though there's no one there. But I'm happy with Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a long time coming.
Yeah, ever since he won the WCPW championship. It
Yeah.
was yeah, because I didn't know that he was doing so well on the indies. So there's obviously I knew him, that guy in the 3-man band.
We're a 3-man band. His best moment in his career, in my opinion.
Yes.
So what
Yes.
happened after that is Andrade and Zelina Vega came out, and they basically reminded Drew McIntyre that Andrade actually beat Drew McIntyre for the NXT Championship about 3 years ago, and that he tore his biceps and cost him 6 months of his career.
Yeah.
And this was some kind of reigniting the feud that was going on all those years ago in NXT. I was excited for this match, but I feel like they've pushed the storyline way more than they should have, because the match itself was already something. But I don't know. What is your opinion about the feud against Andrade against Drew?
I like it, but it's just like they were on like 4 segments on this episode.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But they've been trying to push the storyline way too much instead of just the match itself. With all the other two getting involved, Angel Garza and Austin Theory.
Yeah.
And then the funniest thing ever happened on the show where Andrade started speaking English, and it was like exactly the same style as Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that, but it was funny. I don't think that it was meant to be funny, but it was funny. I had to laugh about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a promo for tonight, having the main event being Andrade against Drew McIntyre not for the WWE Championship, just a match. And if he would win, he would obviously get an opportunity, but we'll get back to that later. Next up, they announced the 3 matches that would take place tonight for the Money in the Bank qualifying matches, because Money in the Bank is next month. It's the next pay-per-view. The first match was Asuka against Ruby Riott.
Yeah. I like that match.
Yeah, it was probably the best match of the night, in my opinion. Mostly because of the energy that Asuka was putting out, as well as just the psychological psychology involved in the match. That was nice. So I was a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Also, they basically announced Drew McIntyre against Andrade, and then Asuka came out, and she had the match against Ruby Riott. She was dancing, she was having fun. It was a really fun match, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It would have been way better if Byron didn't say that he couldn't understand Asuka every 5 seconds, but
like, that's the entire gimmick of her at the moment, that you don't know what she's saying, but she's like putting out the energy anyway, so you kind of know what she's on about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think Asuka can become the Mrs. Money in the Bank. Last time it was Alexa Bliss, and then she just cashed in right away. I don't remember any of the other cash-ins.
Because the one before that was Carmella, wasn't it?
Yeah, Carmella was the first one. Well, James Ellsworth was, but but Carmella was, and then Alexa Bliss. And is this the 3rd one or the 4th one? I don't remember.
Must be the 3rd one.
Yeah, probably 3rd one. So we had Carmella and we had Alexa Bliss, and now it's probably going to be Asuka. So yeah, that was that match. It was really good. Next up, we had Aleister Black facing Austin Theory. No, wait.
No, only Lorcan.
Yeah, squash match, basically.
Throw him up.
The other person you will probably never see him wrestle again on WWE, so it's just that.
Wait, is he leaving?
I don't know. Is
Is
he like a 205 wrestler or something?
I
don't know him at least. So.
Oh, he's in a tag team with another bald guy. Looks exactly the same, but he's from England, called Danny Burch.
Fair enough.
And Oni's Twitter account is what carries him pretty much. Because after this match, he tweeted, "Just got my ass kicked on WWE Raw."
Oni Larkin.
In full caps.
Nice. So yeah, that was their match. Aleister Black basically won quite easily. He did a few nice rope moonsaults. Yeah. What are those called? Side rope moonsaults?
People just call them lion salts. But...
Lion salts, yeah. They were pretty nice, and I liked seeing them. And then before the match actually took place, we had a segment with MVP where he announced 3 matches for next week. First one was Aleister Black against Austin Theory. I'm pretty sure Aleister Black's gonna win. He didn't really lose any major matches yet on Raw, from what I know. Like, he even beat Seth Rollins, didn't he? No,
I
wait, he
think,
beat
yeah.
AJ Styles. It was the short feud that he had with AJ Styles for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he actually had a push, and now I just want him to actually win something, like the Money in the Bank. I do want him to be the next champion, at least. And just Aleister Black against Drew McIntyre just sounds a lot better. But we'll get back to that later. Also,
Did that
Rey
happen?
Mysterio against Buddy Murphy. Looking forward to that match. Both of them are high flyers, so it should be fun. And the last
Yeah.
one, it's Apollo Crews against the most, as MVP said it, the most decorated superstar of all time, MVP himself. So those are the matches for next week Raw.
Really excited for Apollo Crews versus MVP. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it was Aleister Black. He won against the other guy. Keep forgetting his name. But then Becky Lynch came out and she basically hyped up the entire women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And she now has a title reign of 1 year and 8 days because she won the championship last year against Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair in the triple threat match for both SmackDown and Raw championship, where she became Becky 2 belts.
Yeah.
She lost the championship against Bayley, and then Bayley lost it against Charlotte, and then Charlotte lost it again against Bayley. So Becky Lynch, Raw champion, Bayley, SmackDown champion, Charlotte Flair, NXT champion. So 3 of the 4 horsewomen are actually in the title champion, and Sasha Banks, she's the best friend of Bayley, so she's also up there basically. So it's being dominated. So this is like the perfect moment to hype up the 4 horsewomen against 4 horsewomen match of Ronda Rousey, the other 3, Shayna Baszler and stuff against these 4. But yeah, I think it's not gonna happen. But let's see. I still hope for it.
It's literally just Shafir and Jasmine Duke.
Yep.
I think it's the only thing that's stopping it.
So yeah, Becky Lynch hyped up the match, and then came Shayna Baszler, where she had a match against Sarah Logan.
Yep.
The match lasted 52 seconds. And the reasoning behind that is the match started, and I don't know what happened, but something pissed off Shayna Baszler quite early, like after 10 seconds, and she started bashing off at the head of Sarah Logan, and a lot of MMA style mat fighting was involved for the wrestling. Yeah. Like just pounding her ribs, pounding the back of her head, that kind of stuff. And then the referee had to like back her off after the 5 count, but she just kept attacking anyway. And then I think 10 seconds later, Sarah Logan was trying to get up, and she put her hand down on the mat, and her elbow was up. And then Shayna Baszler did her move where she basically stomps down on the elbow. And yeah, it looked really nasty. It looked really painful because she like jumped in the air and then let her entire body weight get down on the elbow, and you could see basically the elbow go all the way forward, and just looked really painful. And you could see Sarah Logan crying in the ring. So I think this is like real. I don't think this was scripted, because the commentary was silent when this happened. They didn't know what to say. The ring announcer, he also declared Sarah Logan the champion. So I don't think this was scripted at all, because there was so much confusion going on about everyone. I went on Twitter. Everybody was confused, like what happened. And Jake thought it was a work.
I still think it's a work. And I just think the ring announcer botched. It would have been fine if he didn't say that Sarah won by DQ.
Yeah,
I just know that she did it. Like when she was feuding with Ember Moon in NXT. I still remember it because it made me cringe. It was so fucking such a yeah. I really like Shayna Baszler, but some of the stuff she does is just like really hard to watch. So I still remember, I think Ember Moon did it back to her in the feud, and then she just went out the ring and then slammed her shoulder into the ring post to pop her shoulder back in.
Yeah, so I'm actually seeing right now that they actually don't show the part where she stomps down the elbow of Sarah Logan
On the YouTube.
on Twitter of WWE. So they showed the entire match, but up until the moment where she stomped down on the elbow, they just cut it off. So that's why I think that it was not meant to happen. It was very controversial. I didn't like that segment. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I want to know more about it, but oh well. Next up, we had Austin Theory against Akira Tozawa. And I don't know about that match.
I just found it ironic because I saw Tozawa in like a promo package, and we both couldn't remember his name. And while I was trying to find him on the roster, he just comes out.
Yeah. It was a really random match. Not much was happening. No storyline, no. Until the end of the match, that is, because they started to, after Austin Theory won, they just battered Akira Tozawa from the corner of the ring. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just, they had Selena on commentary. So yeah, the match was just to hype up the main event.
Yeah, most likely. I'm seeing a tweet right now where WWE wrote, "Her work here is done," about Shayna Baszler. And they just showed the two images. So do they mean her work here is done as in she showed her domination, or her work here is done as in she's fired?
The work here is done as in what she completed, what she wanted to, yeah.
I hope it was storyline. It would be really sad to see her if that behavior was like intentional. Would be really unprofessional, but oh well.
Yeah, it can't be.
Rey Mysterio is in the back, telling that he wants to win the Money in the Bank this time, that Kane cashed in on him, and that he wants to feel like he wants to be the one who's cashing it this time.
Yeah.
That's a good promo. It was fine. Then we had the segments where Seth Rollins is in the backstage. First he's like, Kevin Owens beat me, my purpose is done, and then they go to him again and he says, I'm the Messiah, I want you to know that I'm still here for you. I'm not actually... I didn't actually lose, I'm actually resurrected. Something like that in those lines.
Yeah, I've been crucified.
Yeah. It was random. Like the segments itself, they were really random, but I guess it had purpose, which we'll get to later when we discuss it.
Because it's Easter time.
Yeah. So then the next match happens, where it's Angel Garza against another jobber. I don't remember who.
Angel Garza. Oh yeah, it is Tahuti Miles from NXT.
Yeah, basically another squash match. Angel Garza makes his entrance. He has a rose in his mouth, and then there's a female photographer by the ringside, and he starts to enchant her, and she gives him the look like, Jesus, give me your dick already. That kind of a look.
Yep.
It was cringy, but I guess it fits his personality and his character, so it was a good touch just to get the match hyped up, for me at least.
Yeah.
He's charismatic. I like that about him. And then later he does his thing with the pants where he takes off his pants and only his trunks remain.
Yeah. I don't get why he does it every match. but
It's just his signature move, I guess. It's like one of his finishers, and then it confused the opponent, and then they get confused and they start hitting themselves.
yeah, I guess it's like when Big Show and like Andre would put their singlet down.
Yeah.
But it's really random.
So Angel Garza wins quite easily, quite fast. The other guy, the jobber didn't. Well, the NXT guy didn't even get one offensive move, and he just was squashed basically. And then Zelina Vega comes out with Andrade and Austin Theory, and they do the same thing they did to Akira Tozawa, and they go to the corner and batter him, basically. Yeah, they're just doing the shield thing where they're putting their fists up together in the top, and yeah, they're basically the new shield of the WWE. Then we have the next match, which is Kairi Sane against Nia Jax. Nia Jax was like
Scotch match.
Nia Jax was not selling any of the moves from Kairi Sane. She was like, "Ow, that tickled," or like, "Ow, you scratched me," and then she just was stunned for a few seconds, but she just stood there basically. And Kairi Sane was like trying to do things, but I didn't feel the hype in it because Nia Jax was like no selling any of the moves.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Kairi Sane.
Yeah, the best part was still Asuka hyping her up in backstage. Like gambare in Japanese all the time. Like, good luck, do it, yes.
Yeah, it feels like Kairi is getting punished for getting concussed in that tag match.
Yeah, but she also made clear that she's leaving as soon as her contract expires, unless she gets like a big money deal, which probably won't happen, seeing the current economical status of the WWE.
Yeah.
So she's leaving, and they're making every cent of her worth it while she's here. I'm guessing Asuka will turn on her pretty soon to give her a bigger heel push, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah. Charlotte Flair comes out, NXT champion, and yeah, she said she beat Bayley, she beat Becky. Now she beat, what's her name again?
Rhea Ripley.
And now she's the next NXT champion, and her reign will be supreme on NXT. Just another ordinary promo, let's say. Not much was going on there. Just she didn't share anything new. And then we had the match of Bobby Lashley against No Way Jose, the best wrestler on the match in the entire thing. The guy that nobody even remembered was in WWE. He doesn't even have his crew behind him anymore.
Yeah, the Rosebuds.
Yeah, the Rosebuds 2.0. So that match happened. It felt like it was a match of 10 minutes long, but it was actually just 2 minutes. And it was just mainly the storyline between Bobby Lashley and Lana getting divorced since they got married in kayfabe. But yeah, I'm already done with that storyline. I was done like a few months ago, but they still keep going on with it. It should just be done.
When they started.
Yeah.
I don't like Bobby Lashley that much. Especially not as a character guy. Like, I don't know why they're trying to make him into a character.
I don't know. I like his new outfit actually. When he debuted, I was like, "What's wrong with that?" And now I'm kind of used to his new wrestling gear. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Viking Raiders come out. They're against the new tag team, Ricochet and what's his name again? Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
2 high flyers. I'm liking both of them. I'm liking this team. I just hope that they win the championship quite fast. They deserve all of it, or they just go to NXT or something. I don't know. They need to do more with them.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the votes, and 63% voted for Ricochet and Alexander, and 37 the rest basically voted for Viking Raiders. So I feel like the Viking Raiders are already buried before they even started in WWE.
Well, yeah, and the main roster, yeah, because I think they're pretty big in NXT, but then all the is it War Raiders and
Yeah, and basically they're still trying to
name
push them
changes.
because they won that match. So Cedric Alexander and Ricochet are just getting buried more and more, even as a tag team. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what's going on with them. Oh well. Next up we had the Street Profits backstage.
Getting a pep talk from Bianca Belair.
Yeah. I'm like thinking what I should say about this segment. It was so great. It was so funny, and I don't know. I'm liking both of them, and just the facial expressions that are all the time. And I'm seeing the GIF right now where Bianca Belair is just looking at them like, "Are you for real, bruh?" And then she gives them a pep talk, and then like fires them up, and they're legit scared of her. And then as she walks away, she blows a kiss to Montez Ford.
Yeah.
And then he just puts down his glass and just looks after her. I'm liking it. It's probably one of the best things going on Raw right now, and I want to see them wrestle more, basically. Then came the main event, where it was Andrade against Drew. 5-minute match, or 7-minute match or something. It was like in the final 7 minutes of Raw. They just had the match. They had some offensive. It was alright. The match was alright. I was expecting it to be worse, with a lot of headlocks and that kind of stuff. But the pace was pretty high. It was pretty high paced, and a lot of things were happening at the same time, as well as the facial expressions from Selena Vega, Drew McIntyre taking out all 3 of them at the same time from the side of the ring.
Yeah.
And then basically coming up with the victory. And yeah, so he wins. Then we get to the last minute of the night, and you hear "Burn it down," and Seth Rollins comes down to the ring and basically stomps away on the head of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And I was happy about this segment because I was scared that they were going to make Andrade against Drew McIntyre an actual feud. But I like to see Seth Rollins in the main event. He's doing it really well, especially since he's a heel and Drew McIntyre is a face right now. Yeah, it just makes Drew McIntyre more of a likable person and Seth Rollins more of a hateable person, which is it's a good feud that they need right now.
Yeah.
But that leaves me with a question: what's gonna happen to Kevin Owens from now on? Is he in the Money in the Bank? Is he going to NXT? What's gonna happen?
Well, the qualifying matches hasn't come out for the men yet. Oh no, they have. So it can't be in the Money in the Bank.
If he's in the Money in the Bank, I want either him or Aleister Black to win. But
Or
if
is he
he's
part
in
of
the
SmackDown?
if he's in the match, I think Kevin Owens will win.
So is Kevin Owens part of SmackDown? Yeah.
I think he's of Raw, isn't he?
Yeah, so I don't think he can. Because it'd be 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. So we've got the 3 qualifying matches on Raw side.
Yeah. Oh, let's find out where it leads. I hope they do something good with it. Yeah, Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins ending the show with having Gerb stomped the head of Drew McIntyre and then looking at the WWE Championship laying on the ground, indicating that he wants to be next in line.
Yeah.
I'm liking the storyline. Think it's gonna be good. And that's about it for the night. That was all for Monday Night Raw. And before we look at the normal rating of the match, what would you rate the show on a scale from 1 to 10?
Well, it was an alright show, but it was 6 squash matches pretty much.
Yeah.
So about 6.
For me,
One
it
for
was
each.
like the first hour was exciting. It was good. Second hour, the matches didn't really have much going on. Like the only major storyline that's going on right now is Drew McIntyre against Seth Rollins, which they announced. And other than that, it's just the Money in the Bank. It's not even that hyped because there are so many wrestlers that are not involved with the Money in the Bank this year.
Yeah.
And so the only reason to actually watch Raw for me right now is Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Aleister Black. Those 3 are like the only reason for me to actually tune in to Raw from now on.
Yeah.
And the women, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen to Shayna Baszler, but I don't know. The show itself was not the best. There were no promos. It was just 6 squash matches basically, and yeah, we're gonna look at the time of it in a bit. But I would say it's getting a 4 out of 10 for me, just because the entire show could have been done in like 30 minutes, let's say, aside from the advertisements and the replays and whatever.
Yeah.
The show was 30 minutes instead it went on for 3 hours. That's why I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. What would you rate it?
Yeah, I would rate about 6 or 5 along that. Because it was pretty fun to watch, but yeah, it was most of this pointless squash matches.
So I'm on the site right now where they basically give a rating, and the rating was 6.75.
Yeah.
Out of 11 votes. So people thought it was alright. That it was a 7 or an 8, basically. Yeah. We look at the matches. The first match was 13 minutes long, Asuka against Ruby Riott, so I was happy with that. Then it was Aleister Black against Oni Lorcan, 10 minutes. That was alright as well, and then they started to stop giving a shit, basically. Shayna Baszler, 52 seconds. Austin Theory, Akira Tozawa, 7 minutes. Angel Garza, 2.5 minutes. Nia Jax, 2.5 minutes. Bobby Lashley, 1.5 minutes. Viking Raiders against Cedric Alexander and Ricochet, 13 minutes, but the match itself was not that great. There was no story going on, so I wasn't invested in it. And it also was in like the third hour, so my attention kind of faded away already. And then we had the main event, which was only 5 minutes long. It's a pity. I would have liked to see them go on for like 13 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Oh well. So yeah, that was basically Monday Night Raw. And even though it's like not the best show, I'm happy that they're continuing to do it, seeing the current situation with the coronavirus. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this review kind of thing. I don't know how we're gonna call it yet. Any final words that you have to say to this video?
They need new commentators.
Oh my god, they broke him in half! So what is your prediction for next week? So it's going to be Drew against Seth Rollins. They're going to hype that up a bit. What's going to happen to the new shields of Angel Garza, Andrade, and Austin Theory? Are they going to coexist, or is something else going to happen?
They might even align themselves with Seth and his...
They might, since Buddy Murphy is on Raw, so I'm not sure. Let's find out. But yeah, I think only Drew is the only one I'm looking forward to for next week. And that's about it.
I think the qualifying matches are next week, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, so
All
be
right.
fun to watch.
Yeah, then that was all for this week, and yeah, we're going to review NXT or AEW on Wednesday tomorrow. So see you Thursday.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.